Okay, guys, welcome back to another episode on creating a complete login and sign up system using PHP, AJAX, and MySQL Database. In this episode, we are going to continue where we left off. We are going to create our login system using our PHP. So in this particular video, we are going to use PHP in validating and also connecting to our database, then sending our form into my SQL database. So I'll open my XAMPP control panel, make sure my Apache and my SQL is started. Going to minimize this. Then I'm just going to reload my web browser. I'll just do okay. So I have this here. Now, you remember we created a folder called function_php. Then we also created a file called signup.php. So in the signup.php, when we created the AJAX core, we made use of the URL. Now we are going to send our form from the AJAX or from the JavaScript file to the signup.php, whereby we process it there to my SQL database. So let's go to function_php and make sure we open a signup.php. Now, first of all, we need to create a database connection that is going to connect our PHP file to my SQL database. So we need to create a database connection. To do that, we make use of the PHP syntax here, and we are going to destructure our connection string from our main PHP file. We can add everything here. So let me show you what I mean. So we can do something like this. So I'm going to create a variable called $connection. Okay. Then I'm saying that the $connection should be set to my SQL _ connect. So in this particular function here, we are going to pass in some parameters here, and the parameters we pass in 4 parameters, and the first one, we have 1, we have the second parameter, we have the third parameter, then we have finally the last or the 4th parameter. The first parameter will take the IP address of your server. Since we are working in localhost mode, or you are working in offline mode, you are going to make use of the localhost. So we have localhost here, or you can, if you're on Mac, you can also make use of your IP address. So to do that, if you are using this on Mac, you just open your terminal. You can do the same thing in Windows. Just go to so in Mac you open terminal, then in Windows you open CMD. So I'll enter CMD here. I'll make sure I open command prompt here. Now what you can do is you can do IP config in Windows. Then you make use of your IP version 4 address. So you make use of your, this one, the default, the IP version 4 address here. So let me copy this and paste it here and see what happens. So you can see this works. Okay, now if on Mac OS, this will be straight away given to you by the XAMPP control panel. So you just copy it from the XAMPP control panel. You open your XAMPP control panel, you're just going to see the IP address there. You copy and paste it here. So you can so if you are using Mac, you need to make use of the IP address, but if you are using Windows, you can make use of the local host here. Okay, so I can do any of them. So I can just use this like this. So let me just duplicate this. Then I'll make use of this. I can close this now. So I'm just going to comment this one. Then after the local host, we have the username, and the username here is going to be our root. because you are working with my SQL database, unless you've changed the username. So the default username is root, and the default and the next parameter is the password. So the default password is blank. There's nothing there. Then the last one will be our database name. So the database name is going to be complete sign up. So I'll just do com_sign up. So this is going to be our database name. Okay. So we use this as our database name. Now you can do the same thing as let me just do this. Then I'll do away with this one. Then this time I'll change this to localhost. So we are going to test both of them and make sure they work. So I'll do away with the localhost and I'll make use of the IP address. So now I'm going to create a connection string here. I'm going to say that I'm going to check if our connection connects successfully or not. So I'm saying that if there is no connection, or if our connection fails to connect, or if our string fails to connect, now we are doing something here. We are saying that if it fails to connect, then we should throw an error message to the user. Okay, so you can say that so we can see that sorry guys, I just had a call here. We are going to echo a message here. We're going to say that, okay, so connection failed. Connection to database failed. Okay, so now we're going to do something like this. Now let's go to our XAMPP control panel here. So you can see we already have our XAMPP open here. So you can use your IP address here to open the XAMPP control dashboard, or you can just enter localhost here like this and to still work. So when you open the XAMPP control, the Apache window homepage, you just click on PHP My Admin. Okay, so when you click on PHP My Admin, now to your left, we need to create a new database. The database that we created here, that's the com_sign up. So I think I left in, so I'm just going to do yes. And I'm going to copy this. I'll come to new here. So I'll go to my web browser. There's PHP My Admin. I'll click on new. Now under database name, I'm just going to paste this here. Then I'll create a database. Now the database is created. We need to populate or to create tables. Okay, and the first table is going to be let's say users. Okay, so you can give it any name that you want, and the number of columns that we need. So for now, let's use 4. So the first column, we need the user ID. Okay, so you can just make use of ID or anything that's going to be your primary key or your ID. So user ID, and user ID is always a primary key. Okay, so this is what we do here. It's always a primary key, and also we are using auto increment. That's the A_I. So auto increment here, which is going to automatically set your index to primary. So primary key using auto increment, so that we don't need to always increase the number whenever we add new users. Now after creating the user ID, let's look at our sign up page and see the columns that we have here. So we have the first name. I'm just going to refresh this. Okay, so I think say you are not found. Oh gosh. Okay, so let me just sign up. Whoa, why am I getting this error? Reset password, login, sign up. Okay, let me check. I think I've deleted something here. Well, let's go to log index. Then, okay, so N. I need to have N here. So now I can close this. Go back, then I'll click sign up again. Oh, so I'll refresh this. Okay, so now I have my page here. So you can just fix the error by going to the index page, scroll the way down, then you put the N here, this particular side. Make sure you have So I made a typo error here. We fix it. Okay, so we have first name, last name, email. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 columns here, and the first column is first name. So I can do F name. So you can use any name that you want, and you're going to use the data type for this one. You can use varchar or text. I want to limit the user on the length or the values that he or she can enter. So I'm going to limit the user to 20 characters. Then the L name too, I'm going to limit the user to 20 characters. So you can use either text or varchar. You can use any data type that falls within what you want. Okay, and the last one, sorry, the next one is email. So email, I'm going to do user email, and I'm going to set this also to a varchar and make sure I have length of what, 50. Now you can increase or you can bring in more columns by just clicking on go here, up here. So I'm going to add more columns here. And I think we have phone number. So I'm going to have phone underscore number, and this is going to be varchar. Make sure I limit it to 10. Okay, then also, so phone number was 10, right? So let's check our JS validation here. So we didn't, yeah, we said 10 here. So we're going to limit 10. And then the password too. So I think after, yeah, password. So I'll do user pass. That is, I'm going to set it to text. Okay. Then we have first name, last name, email, phone number, then password. We don't need the confirm password here. Okay, this is just for validation. So we need this. Now after doing everything, you can just let's add one more thing, like the status. Then that's going to be an integer. You can just bring in anything that you want. I'm just going to use integer for this. Now I'll move to date registered. So date underscore registered. And I'm going to use a data type of date. Now I'll click on save. So I have my table here. So now I click on com underscore sign up, which is our database name. Inside database, we have a table called users. Then inside the users, you find our columns here. For now, there's nothing here. So I'm just going to use our PHP to send the information that, or the form that the user enters here to the database. Okay, now let's begin there. So let's continue from here. Now to do this, we need to make sure you copy this string like this. You open signup.php, then you add it here like this. But you can see that this way too much. So when I thought about distracting our connection string from our main PHP file. So what you can do is you can just use what we call the include. Okay, so you can include here. You can say include, and inside the include, you're going to create a new file inside the complete login and sign up system called. You're going to call this new file database.php. Okay, I'm going to save this database.php. Now what you do is you go to this page, we'll cut this, we'll save, then we'll paste it here. Right, sorry. So you just need to bring in your PHP syntax. So paste it here like this. Now I can close this, or let's just keep it open for now. Yes. So what I'll do is so now I can just include a page. So the name of the page was database.php, and make sure you end it with a semicolon. Okay. So when you do this, all what you have to do now is include this particular connection string on our sign up page. So I'm just going to cut this like this. Then I'll paste it here. Or even if you want to, let's just not paste it there for now. So I'll just go back to my let's just paste it here. So okay, so we paste the database here. Now let's refresh our web browser It says there's a syntax if. Okay, so let's go to our database. I think there's okay, so it's dollar connects. Okay, I can refresh dollar connection. Sorry, still getting the error. So wait, okay, you need to end it with your semicolon. Then it is uncut SQL exception. Okay, so they don't want me to use the IP address here, meaning I need to go for the local host here. So I'll comment this out, and I'll use a local host, and this time it should work. Okay, so unknown database con_sign up. There is n here. I keep omitting the n. I don't know why. Okay, so you can see our database is connected successfully. So let me just do away with this one. But if you're on MacBook and you use the IP address, this is going to work. Okay. So yeah. So let's change something here. Yeah, let's just change something here like this. So I'm removing after I just removed the n. I'm going to refresh my page, and you can see that now it's telling us there's no there's an unknown database, because the name that you have here should match the database name that you have in PHP admin. Other than that, you're just going to face an error like this. Okay, yeah, so make sure you do the correct naming here. So I'll just bring back my n and I'll refresh. So if you see something like this, then it means so okay, I have an if statement here. So if there's an error, it should show this error here. But if there's a successful connection, now you can see that echo connected to database. And you can see when I refresh, we see something up here. So let me just bring in some HTML and CSS here to make our text readable. So I'm just going to change the color of this to red. Okay, then I'll center you. Let's just keep it like that. So when I refresh, you're going to see this here. Look at how I spelled star. Okay, I'm using red, but it's not working. I don't know why. But oh, sorry. So color should be red, right? Okay, so you can see now you can even use any color. So since it's successfully connected, we have a green color here, so connected to database. This tells you your connection is successful. Okay, but we don't really need this, so you can comment. You use this for testing. You don't want to keep this up here. You need use it for testing. I'm just going to comment this out. Yeah, so now I can close my database.php, then I'll work inside the signup.php. Okay, yes, so inside this place, let's refresh. Let's go back to this page here. Now make use of these variables, and I told you the first variables is what you are going to pass to the signup.php. Okay, now we are assigning this last variables to the first variables. So first name is equal to first name. Now I'm going to pass all the first variables to the PHP signup.php page. So let's go here. Then what we need to do something here also. So we need to bring in our variables. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold Control. I'll click. I'll select all. I'll paste them here. So now you need to bring in the $sign. Okay. You can do this one by one, but I want to be quick. Now I'm assigning these to, so my SQL _real _escape string. So this is going to escape any white spaces in our string. Okay. Now And this also, the my SQL underscore real escape string takes two parameters. That's the connection string and the post form that you are bringing in. Okay, so the connection string, this is the connection string. So let's go back to our database. So you are using this, the dollar connection. This is our connection string. Okay, so wherever you see that dollar connection, it means you are pulling it from the database here, the database connection here. So I'm going to write dollar connection. Then we have a comma here. Then our post. Okay, so dollar underscore post, and inside them we pass these things there. Okay. Yeah. So inside them we are passing these variables. So first name, last name, user email. These are the post. Okay. Now we are also in the PHP, the signup.php, we are also assigning them to another variables that we've created here called dollar first name, dollar last name, and the rest. Okay. Let's do some PHP validation here. So I'm just going to create a comment, validation. Then first of all, I'm just going to echo out a message. Okay, so I want to echo out this simple message to the screen here. And I think the best place to do that will be under the sign up. So first of all, I'm just going to fill a form here. And you can see you don't have anything here. So what you have to do is go back to your signup.php. That's the HTML page. Then under the sign up here, I'm going to create h3 element here or h3 tag here. Then it's going to have an ID of message. Okay, so this way will show our message. So first of all, let me just input anything here for you to see where this will be. Okay, so this will be down here, and we can even give it a class and push it from. So margin top, we give it a factory. Okay, then we can also center. So I'm going to use the center tag rather. And when I refresh, so this is where you're going to have our message. So now I can just delete what we have here. So there's nothing here. So I'm going to give a comment here, and I'll say like I'll say yeah, just message here. Then what I'll do is I'll now go back to my PHP page. Yeah, so now this message that I have here should show here when I click on the sign up button. Okay, so I'm just going to reload the page. I'll fill the form here. So I don't have anything here. So now I'll come back to my JS here. Then what I need to do is I need to show the HTML page here. So what I'll do is I'll do this. Then this will target the ID, which is message. Now you can use the HTML function here like this. Then pass in the data. Okay, so now when I click on sign up, it has to show here. Okay, so HTML, then they are passing the data. So let's check the message. So the ID is message. Then so you need to delete this JSON type here, data type here. Refresh. I'll fill the form again. And this time getting syntax error, unexpected variable, last name. Okay, so I'm having an error here. Where is this one? Okay, so now I need to close these, end them. So ending tag here. Okay. So now when I refresh, I'm getting more include database feeds to OpenStream. So this should be like this. Then I think this time, yeah, so you should have the message here. Hi there, I'm coming from PHP page. Okay, so now you have something like this here. This is the message that we are getting from the PHP page. So you need to have this here. Then what you need to do is also reset our form whenever we send or we submit it. Okay, so we are going to target the whole form tag here. Then we reset it, or when triggered, it should just reset. Okay, so now let's try that again, and this time it should reset our form. Okay, so you can see our form was successfully reset. Now let's go back to our validation page again. Then we'll do something. We'll do some check-ins here. So we're going to check if the user is not already registered in our system. Okay, so I'm going to fetch user. I'm going to create a variable called fetch users. Then this will be equal to a query. So I'm going to run a query here. So select all from users. I think that's the name of the table. Yeah. Then limit 1. So select all from users where the email. So let's go back to our table here. I think that we have user email. So we have this here where user email is equal to user, so $user email. And I think should verify or check the number too. Okay, let's go with the email. Okay, so now I'm going to run this fetch query. So run fetch users is equal to MySQL line underscore query. Then we pass in the fetch users. First, we pass in the connection string. Then we pass in the fetch users. And include this or die MySQL underscore error, where we can pass in our connection string again. Okay, so make sure you end it with a semicolon. Then now you need to fetch the users from the database. Okay, so or we can do a count. So let's count. So count users is equal to MySQL I underscore num underscore rows. Okay, then we pass in the run fetch users. Now let's check if the user exists or not. So if user, or if the $count, $count user is equal to 1. Okay, so if the user exists, if there's a user there, then we can echo out user. So let's do an alert. Okay, let's echo. So echo user already exists. So yeah, you can bring in some class here, some Bootstrap class here. So I'm just going to do this span, because already we have this. Know that this message is already in an H3 tag here. Okay, so it's better we use span here. Then you can give it a class. So you can do an alert. So alert danger here. Then you can say user already exists. So if the user does not exist, then you can process the new user, or you can insert the new user into database. So now let's insert the new user into the database. So we are saying that now let's run a query here, insert query equal to another SQL query here. So let me just copy this, paste it here. I'll pass in the insert query here. Then I'll now change this to run query. Okay. So yeah, I'll say that insert into users. So inside this we have values. Okay. So I'm just going to push it down a bit. So I'm going to insert this variable that we get from the JavaScript page. Then we pass them into the query that it goes to the database. So we have user ID, which is an auto increment. So there's no need for you to bring it here. So first of all, we are passing in the first name, which is the F name. So these are the columns from the database. Okay, we have the L name, and we have user email. We also have phone number, phone underscore NO, which is number. We have user path. So we come to user password later. I'll show you something here. Then we also have, so I think I'll push this down a bit. Okay, so user pass. We also have how do you have status? We have the date registered. Okay, so now we are going to pass in the values for the columns in the database. Okay. Now the values is going to be these ones: the $F name, $L name, email, phone number, user pass. So we don't have the confirm part. This we don't need it. So you can just delete this or just uncomment this out. Okay, we don't need it. Then let's look at something here. So where do we start from? Okay, so F name, you're going to pass dollar first name. Then L name, you're going to pass dollar last name. Then what's username, you're going to pass dollar user email. Phone number, I'm going to pass dollar phone number. Then when we get to the password, yeah, we need to do something here. Okay, so look at something here. When you pass this string, okay, so let's just pass this. You pass this and you see how it works. So let's pass dollar user pass. Okay. Then finally, what do you have? Date, then status. So I think I made a mistake here. Make sure I bring the S status. Then the status is going to be 1. So pass in 1 year. Then date registered. We want to pick the current date, so which is now. Okay. Now, if everything is successful, let's show or echo out a message to the user. So if the $run underscore query, you can just do something like this. This means it's true, okay? Or you can just force it to true, like this. Any of them will work, okay? But I prefer using this. So let's just use this, and we'll try using the other one. So I'm going to echo out. I'll copy this echo message here. I'll paste it here. Then I'll change it to success. Then I'll say user successfully registered. Else, if there is an error, if there's an error, you can still bring in the echo message there. And it will say that something failed to register user. So let's try this and see. So I'll go to my sign up page, I'll refresh, I'll fill my form, I'll make sure I correct this because I set a limit to 10. So I'm going to correct this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so now the password, I don't know the password. So I'm going to create my own password. I'll make it 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to get an error. Okay, password must be 8 characters. So I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then I'll register. So I'm getting an error and it says uncut MySQL. You should have an error in SQL syntax. Check the manual. Okay, I think I have an error here. And line 13, 13, 13. I think the error is coming from up here. So where limit is equal to 1. So select all from users. Oh, look at something here. So select all from users. Where? I think it has to be here. Yeah. Sorry. Where user is in. Okay. So I think this will fix the error. So I think this fixes the error. Now let's fill the form again. I'll change the password to, sorry, the phone number to something like this. I'll use the phone number as a password. Okay. Now when I register, I should get user successfully registered. So this tells you our form was successfully received from the JS page, and the PHP also processed this and sent it to the database. So when I refresh, when I click on, if you want to refresh, just click on the browser and you see the data, the user information in the table here. So there's one column here. Now, there's one row, okay? Let's look at some. So the user ID is 1. The first name is Salvador Bradley. We have the email as call, is it Collie or call or whatever. Now, look at something here. You can see our password is blank, like it's visible. It's not blank, but visible to the user, and this is not accepted. Okay, we need to create a special or a random password here by hashing this particular user password for security purposes. So when you come to our PHP page here, you can see here you have to change it to, so you can use let's do MD5. Okay, so now if you do MD5, there's no need for you to pass in a connection string. All you pass in is the post. Okay, now let's try and use this same email here to register again. You are going to get an error. So I want to push this message here. I want to push it up a bit so I can do margin top 5. I'll do the same thing here, margin top 5. And I'll do the same thing here, margin top 5. Okay. So now let me refresh, fill in the form. But this I'm going to use the same email. When I try to register, it's going to tell me the user already exists. Okay. So you can see now we have user already exists because we have this email registered in our database. So we can't use the same email to register again. So we have the user exists here. I think my class didn't work. I'll just use the break. Okay, so I'll use the break. Now let's try. So for the password, now let's do something like this. Let's create another user. Then this time I'm going to use the same phone number as the password. Then it's going to successfully register this user. I know, right? Okay, so user successfully registered. Now when you go to our database, you can see we have another user here, Jordan Hooper. Then you can see right now the password has been hashed to MD5 format. Okay, so I can even do MD5 hash generator. And if I should pass in this same email here, sorry, this same number, I should pass in this same number, I'm getting the same thing here. So you can see I have the same thing here. Yeah, so this is an MD5 generator. Okay. So I think from here, you've successfully validated and also done the needed. So I don't think there's anything for us to do here. Yeah, so from here, I think that's it. Now, if you want to validate the phone number also, you can just copy this whole query here. You paste it here, then you change the details. Okay, so you change this to where phone number is equal to phone underscore number. Okay, then you can do the validation. So in our next video, we're going to look at how to use the forgot password page in requesting for new password in case you forget your password. Okay, if you are new to this channel, make sure you subscribe, you like and share.